Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is James and you're watching Wonderful World. And today we'll be looking at my corn snake pumpkin, because in today's video I'm going to go over what I think are some pros and cons of having a corn snake. And we'll try to answer the question, do corn snakes make good pets? So pro number one is size. Corn snakes grow into a very manageable size, maxing out at about 4 to 5 feet long. They're a good size to enjoy interacting with without having to worry about managing something too large. Now, when you get a corn snake, it will likely be a baby and can be the size of a pencil or even smaller. And I personally find little baby snakes to be the most challenging to pick up and handle. They're so fragile, and babies can thrash and squirm, and I can understand someone getting a new corn snake home and being afraid to pick it up. If that's you, I have a video about that, so I'll put up a link. Being with them since they are babies, though, gives you a lot of time to bond, and after some years goes by, your corn snake will grow into something similar in size to Pumpkin. So for con number one is the cost of the initial setup. One con of owning a corn snake is the cost of the setup, even not counting the cost of smaller setups for a baby and as it grows. The cost for a proper setup for a full-grown corn snake isn't cheap. Whether it's a DIY snake enclosure or a large aquarium or front-opening terrarium, an adult corn snake needs at least the equivalent of a 40-gallon or more depending on their size. The enclosure itself will cost you anywhere from $200 and up, but you'll also need UVB lights and whatever you decide to use for heat, plus a thermostat. And depending on what you use for substrate, that's another cost. Water bowls, hides, plants, it all adds up fast. Plus, you should really have everything set up and running before you get your snake. Right now, Pumpkin is in a space that's about the size of a 40-gallon terrarium, but I'm soon going to be building Pumpkin a completely new and really extra spacious enclosure. I'm not sure when I'll be getting to that, but you'll definitely see it when I do. Pro number two is that corn snakes are easy to care for. Corn snakes are very easy to care for as long as you've done enough proper research on the care and husbandry and you have your enclosure set up with the right heat and humidity, a source of water, and plenty of hides and enrichment. You need to clean and change the water bowl once a day. You have to feed them about once a week, and you have to keep their enclosure clean. How easy or not it is to clean the enclosure could depend on if you're keeping your snake in a bioactive enclosure or not. And I recommend keeping a bioactive enclosure, but that requires a little bit more research and learning on your part to manage that. But either bioactive or not, both ways have their own trade-offs and pros and cons. But my experience is that the cleanup crew in Pumpkin's enclosure usually gets to all the poop before I have a chance to. The cleanup crew doesn't eat the fur, and sometimes my spot cleaning includes picking up little bits of fur that the isopods and beetles wouldn't eat. I also replace the top layer of substrate a couple times a year, but that's all. And Pumpkin's enclosure smells like a fresh forest floor. So con number two is that corn snakes hide and sleep for most of the day. Corn snakes are crepuscular, meaning that they are most active at sunrise and sunset. The rest of the time they spend curled up sleeping in a hide. They are very inquisitive and active when they do come out and explore, and every now and then I'll see Pumpkin out running around in the middle of the day. I suppose that a snake that just sleeps all day makes a corn snake a good pet for someone who works a lot, so maybe that's a pro for somebody. But if you want to see your snake out roaming around in its enclosure, that only happens at certain times with a corn snake. Most of the time I spend handling Pumpkin, I have to wake him up and take him out of his hide. But he really doesn't mind, and most of the time seems to enjoy it. My third pro is that corn snakes are fun and therapeutic to handle. When you handle a snake, you don't want to hold it tight or restrict its movement. Just let the snake move around on your arms and hands however it wants, and use your hand over hand to control its direction. Corn snakes rarely want to sit still and always want to be moving, which means it takes a certain amount of concentration to hold them. But I find that concentrating on the snake as he moves around on me to be really relaxing. My con number 3 is the same as my pro number 3, that corn snakes move all the time and can take work to handle. And whichever one is right would depend on you as an individual. Corn snakes can move fast when they want to and can be a little bit squirmy sometimes when they want to always be moving around. While I think this is part of what makes handling a corn snake fun, they aren't like a ball python or boa constrictor that moves slowly or might be content to just sit on your shoulder. For some people, this is a con. My pro number 4 is that corn snakes are very docile and friendly. One reason corn snakes make such good pets is because they are so easygoing. Now, if you have a new corn snake and it's a baby, you might be thinking, my corn snake isn't friendly or docile at all. And you might be right, because that's just how baby snakes are. They're small and easily scared, and they really don't understand who you are yet. But with regular and gentle handling, corn snakes become very tame. Pumpkin here was very feisty as a baby, but now, as you can see, he's a very friendly and easygoing snake. He's a little bit head shy, but he's never hissed or struck at me once. Con number 4 is that corn snakes are very common and everybody has one. While corn snakes are very beautiful, they are probably neck and neck with ball pythons for being one of the most commonly kept pet snakes. And you might be thinking, everybody has a corn snake. I want something that's more rare or unusual. And while that's true, corn snakes are so common as pets because of all these reasons that make them such a good pet. And that brings me to my pro number 5, which is they are available in a lot of different morphs. Just like ball pythons, breeders have created hundreds of different corn snake morphs, and you can find corn snakes in so many different colors and patterns. I think that normal wild-type animals are often underrated for their natural beauty, but if you want something that's a little bit more different or rare, you can choose a unique morph of a corn snake. Just be aware that the more unique the morph is, the more money you'll have to spend for that snake. And finally, my con number 5 is You have to feed them frozen thawed mice. If you have a corn snake, you're going to have to thaw and prepare a frozen mouse about once a week for it to eat. If you're someone who has a phobia or just really doesn't like rodents, this can definitely be a con. But we're talking about a snake, and this is what corn snakes eat. So if you want a corn snake, or any snake really, you'll just have to move past that. Honestly, as time goes by and the longer you have your snake, the frozen thawed mice are something you really just get used to. And yes, they're gross, but it's not something you have to do every day. So these are just a few of the pros and cons for corn snakes that I came up with. And I'm sure I'm leaving something out. So if you can think of others, just let me know in the comments below. Now, I feel like I've had to stretch to find cons for having a corn snake, because I don't really think there are very many cons that are particular to just the corn snake. Most of the cons I listed could easily be cons for many other snakes. But I do think that corn snakes make great pets, especially if you're new to keeping snakes. I can tell you that I am as deeply attached to Pumpkin as I have ever been to any cat or dog. Pumpkin is almost 3 years old, and I'm glad that corn snakes have a long lifespan of up to 15 years or more. That means Pumpkin and I will be together for many years to come. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're thinking about getting a snake, I hope you found it useful. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. And until the next video, I look forward to seeing you again soon.